the king of bones and broken promises. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky was always gray, and the wind carried whispers of forgotten oaths, there stood a castle unlike any other. Its towers were not made of stone, but of bones, yellowed and cracked with age. And in the highest tower sat the king, a man who had once been just and kind, but had become something else entirely. He was known as the King of Bones and Broken Promises, for he had sworn many things in his life and kept none of them. Long ago, before the bones and the broken words, this king had been a young prince named Aldric. His father, the old king, had ruled with fairness, and the people loved him. But when Aldric was still a boy, his father fell ill. On his deathbed, the old king called his son close and said, "Aldric, promise me one thing. Rule with kindness, never let power harden your heart." Aldric, tears in his eyes, swore he would. But promises, like glass, are easy to shatter. When Aldric became king, he was good and just at first. He fed the hungry, protected the weak, and listened to the voices of his people. But as the years passed, whispers of doubt crept into his mind. His advisers told him that kindness was weakness. A king must be strong, they said. A king must make difficult choices. And so, little by little, Aldric began to change. The first promise he broke was a small one. A farmer came to him, begging for help. His crops had failed, and his family was starving. Aldric had once sworn to help those in need, but now he turned the farmer away. "The kingdom has no time for weakness," he said. The farmer left, and that night his youngest child did not wake. The second promise was greater. Aldric had sworn to protect the forests, for they were the heart of the land. But when his advisers told him that cutting down the trees would make him richer, he agreed. The axes fell, and the earth wept. The animals fled, and the rivers dried. The people whispered that their king was no longer the man he had once been. With every broken promise, something inside Aldric withered. His skin grew pale, his eyes hollow. And then, one morning, the people awoke to a terrible sight. The castle, once proud and golden, had changed. Its walls were no longer stone but bones, the bones of those who had trusted him and been betrayed. The king sat upon a throne of cracked ribs, his crown made of teeth. A girl named Liora, brave and unafraid, decided she would face the king. She climbed the bone tower and stood before him. "Why have you done this?" she asked. "Why have you broken every promise?" The king looked at her, his voice like dry leaves. "Promises are chains," he said. "I chose power instead." Liora shook her head. "You were given a kingdom, and you turned it into a grave." For the first time in years, the king felt something, regret. He looked at his hands, saw how they had become as brittle as the bones around him. "Is it too late?" he whispered. Liora took a step forward. "It is never too late to mend what you have broken. But you must begin now." The king closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, he made a choice. He stood from his throne and walked to the highest window. He spoke words he had not spoken in many years, words of kindness, of sorrow, of hope. And as he spoke, the bones began to tremble. One by one they fell from the walls, turning to dust as they touched the ground. Their castle groaned, and then it was stone again. The king, no longer a skeleton but a man, knelt before his people. "I have failed you," he said, "but if you will let me, I will spend the rest of my days keeping my promises." The people were silent. Then, one by one, they nodded. And so, the King of Bones and Broken Promises became something new, a king who remembered the weight of his word. The land healed slowly, but it healed. The forests grew back, the rivers flowed, and the people learned to trust again. But sometimes, on quiet nights, if you listen closely, you can still hear the wind carrying whispers of the past, a reminder that promises are not just words. They are the foundation of kingdoms, of hearts, of lives, and once broken, they are not easily repaired. So remember, dear listener, that every word you speak has weight. Choose them wisely. Keep them always. For a world built on broken promises is a world of bones. But a world built on trust, that is a world worth ruling. And with that, the tale of the King of Bones and Broken Promises comes to an end. Sleep well, and may your dreams be filled with stories yet untold.